Brothers and sisters, soldiers and soldierettes, if you are alive and breathing, we are back to conquer another day and another day and another day. And I always honor thy ancestors. That spirit is alive and well. The righteous ancestors is alive and well. And brothers and sisters out here in our families and outside our families. And salute to those that have been riding along on this journey, because we enjoy the journey. You know, if we already set that motion in plan and that great divine has set that path for us, we just enjoy the journey. We don't have time for worry, stress, nothing that'll hinder us or hold us back, because we can't learn nothing and be prepared for things if we let stuff hold us back. Always analyze, break things down, small or big, and you just be amazed at the things that we will catch and deflect that try to stop our path and our walk. And anyone in our families that we held dear that may have transitioned, may they rest in peace and in power. And may all of our families prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. And I always got to honor thy mother, honor thy father, honor thy sister, and honor thy brother. And thank anyone that takes the time to listen to a brother. This is another edition of EBX Discussion. Salute to all those that are reaching and teaching and relentlessly putting out that good energy, because we need a lot of it these days. And those of us that are righteous, we already know this. You know, it's things that we just know. And some know but don't comprehend. But one thing that I've come to know and will always know in this life, and many of us know, that the great divine is not the author of confusion. Because you don't ever say you're confused. You know, it's two things in this life that one don't play with. I'm sure a lot of us, you know, think this. Two things that me, myself, that I don't play with in this life is I don't play with death, and I don't play with that great divine. And why do we get to this point, brothers and sisters? Because of the things that we have been through and came through to get us to the state that we're in. And that's, we always say, the good old mental, physical, and that wonderful spiritual. Man, when you got those three things in alignment, man, it just makes for a wonderful, wonderful walk. And I'm saying all that to say, if you connect it spiritually, you know, with that higher force, great divine, with yourself, and those that we have in our lives that we're connected to, if we have the right connection, you know, within, and not letting nothing, I have to say, demonic or evil, malice, jealousy, hate, if we don't have any of those things within us, and we are really seeking the best part of ourselves, we won't be confused. So again, I'll say that great divine is not the author of confusion. The devil is. So if you do feel yourself, if you think you might be confused, that's where the studying comes in. You hear me talk about studying a lot. That's where the studying comes in, the researching. Especially, it always comes down to what? Within ourselves. To the what? To the pit, to the bottom. You know, to you scraping, you know, like the bottom of a barrel. You know, you get to the bottom of that crap. And it's the gift that keeps on giving, and you will love yourself later. But we have to go through the humiliation stages. We have to go through the uncomfortable stages. And we stay there. We keep doing things to maintain that space that we have finally gotten to, because it's different strokes for different folks, you know, so to speak. So it just depends on how strong we are, staying in tune with oneself, because you don't find oneself and then you're good. You know, as I've said in the past, there's always going to be little things in the world that we have to be careful of, that we let come into our system, you know. And it's very, the longer we be on this walk, the longer we live, we will see. We will know what to burn our energy on and what not. I haven't said that in a while. That's one of my favorite things to say. We will begin to know what to burn our energy on and what not. And again, great divine is never ever the author of confusion. And I want to speak on that word, confusion. I've done this before, and many other great teachers do this. Salute. And, just sometimes take words that we say and use, and, in phrases and just different things we do in our lives, and just pause for a minute, focus on it, break it down, and see it for what it is. And I like to call this a meditative moment. We're going to break down that word confusion, because, to stay focused in life, and always got to throw in there, we're not always serious, but the times when we do have to tune in on stuff, we got to break things down and to help ourselves, because self-therapy is the best thing one can do for oneself if we're able to. It's a process, but when we get there, brothers and sisters, and a lot of us are there, and that is the success state of mind. That is the best success you can ever have, when you're not confused and you know who you are, and you're not taking on something that make it look like you know where you are. I'm talking about truly, truly knowing what oneself is. And as I said in the past, knowing oneself is better than sex, because when you're true to oneself, matter of fact, it won't even be sex. It'll be love, divine love. It's that much more better when we're true to oneself, and that's brother or sister. Okay, now we're going to break down confusion. We're going to go with stage 1, lack of understanding and uncertainty. And let's do this little example. There seems to become confused about which system does what. Okay, I kind of fumbled that. We're going to go through that stage, because I want to break this down. Stage 1, lack of understanding and uncertainty. Okay, that's why you have to, those that are spiritual, that have been studying this and been doing this, and I'm talking about the real like-minded reachers and teachers out there, within our families too. We know to overstand and understand. When we get to that stage, then we will understand. But if we are lack of understanding and really, really, really not knowing what's going on, and we're just doing stuff because everyone else doing, or we're going with the flock, and we're living in the high life, all we care about is the fame, we don't care how we get it, that's when we are confused. That's when we don't have no understanding. But when you truly know what's going on in this here matrix, that they're updating all the time, and you don't see it, and you're wrapped up in it, you will become confused. And the other part of that stage, there seems to become confusion about which system does what. And you got to kind of read between the lines, on that. There seems to become confusion about which system does what. And that's what's going on in this world. Everything the lines are getting blurred, and the bad is becoming the way, and the right is the wrong. I've said, a lot of us have said this. It's almost like what we do, the righteous is becoming alienated, and the toxic things are getting embraced, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's where things are getting confused. But those that are aware, we can see this. And those that are caught up in demonic ways and think that because they got money, and especially those that are young, those that are blind, they can't see things coming. Whoo, I feel sorry for you, because when you're living a demonic life and you only care about money, and you do anything to get it, even disfigure yourself, if you get to that point, oh my God, can you imagine? See, those that are doing that have no idea about the future, because those that are awakened and on a righteous vibration, we visualize. Those that are deeply self-aware, been on this walk forever, we visualize things, and that's what keep us from doing things that we know that will hurt us down the road. And so, flip side, those that don't care, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna do this, and I can disfigure myself, and I can do what I want. But is it of nature? Is it of that great divine? Because if you are doing things because you are being told or because you have to, and it's not of nothing of a divine thing, it is just off of man and worldly, you are confused. And you won't know that when you're in the confusion, because when you're not self-aware and you just think because money and fame and you can disfigure yourself and you think you can do what you want and you don't think God has nothing to do with it and the great divine has nothing to do. The great divine brought all of us in this world. Great divine breathed life into us. How dare you, go against the great divine? How dare you? So you have to suffer the consequences of not caring about what you're doing. And people who think like that are confused, are living in a world of confusion, and their life will show it, especially if they're living demonic, toxic. I'm telling you, and it's going to hit them hard. And I almost feel sorry for individuals like that, because again, like I say, those of us that are reaching and teaching and living on a high vibration, we can see it. We visualize it. We know things to come. And that great saying I always like to say from the great Malcolm X, if I might mess up the phrase, but it's a phrase that he said that stuck with me. If we know what is and we know what was, we know what's to come. So a lot of us that are awakened, we know this. We got this in our spirit. So we're going to move on to stage 2 of being confused. And again, great divine is never ever the author of confusion. Okay, the second stage, the state of being bewildered or unclear in one's mind about something. If you're unclear, like I say, if you think you might even be feeling a hankling of confusion, check it out, pinpoint it, because confusion can be in a lot of areas, and it starts in the mind, because once we confuse in the mind, anything we come into contact, we'll confuse that too, and we don't want that. We want to know, and if we don't know, we search for that knowledge. We are true selves, and we try our best to get out of the situation that we're in if we're toxic, unless we want to be there and we want to stay confused. I mean, it's kind of sad, and those that are living a demonic life and can't see the confusion, at some point that divine is gonna come doop 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 knocking on your door. And what are you gonna do when that truth comes for you? Because it comes for everybody. It just depends on who we are when that truth comes. They talk about, I'm not a Christian and I'm not into religion, because as I've been taught from great teachers that I have learned from, that spirituality and religion is two different things. So, because spirituality is something that's embedded deeply, and it's something that divine gives all of us, but some don't pay attention to it, think they are above that supreme being. None of us are above that higher force, because that as much as life that higher force can give us, it also can cause us to lose our life, because our great divine doesn't take our lives. Those that are demonic, those that are toxic and go against it, end up losing their own lives. And I don't mean just physically. I always said you could lose it mentally. Be walking around here in an empty shell, and that is a very, strange place to be. So look up that word confusion. Break it down. Little words in our lives, and little phrases we say, things we do. Always take things and break them down and get a better what? Overstanding, understanding, and understanding. And remember what that first stage was: lack of understanding. If you don't have understanding about things, especially those that are in fame, in the industry, and you think you know it all, especially if you're young, how we were when we were young. Some of us, we think we know it all, think we know everything. And again, think the reachers and teachers are just talking. All you got to do is just take a look around and see things that's happening in the past. Because a lot of those that do, some, I will say now, currently, are going into the industry. They know, they all know. But, now if you're business orientated and you're educated about it and you go in, maybe you can maneuver, maybe you can navigate. But if you're blind, you don't know shit, and you just want to be known, and you just want to get money, and you're willing to alter, disfigure yourself. I mean, just think about that. A person is willing to disfigure themselves, take themselves out of their natural person that the great divine made them to be. That's how, man, that's how crazy this media and the world, if you're confused about yourself, because to me, a person that disfigures themselves at the root has got to be confused. I mean, come on. I mean, you can't take artificial and being natural is two different things. I'm sorry, you can't mix the two. At some point in your life, there is going to be confusion. So if you disfigure your character or yourself and change yourself from the natural person, whether brother or sister, male or female, that great divine made you to be, you have to suffer the consequences and everything that comes with it. But if you have understanding and know what it is, you won't never even think about disfiguring yourself or changing your natural self. It won't even come into your mind. But we have to have understanding. We have to know thyself. It always comes down to that. So when you go against that natural self of that what that great divine meant us to be, I hope you're ready for the consequences, especially if it's demonic and it's toxic, because we always got to think of those we are connected to, especially children. You know, children are very, very impressionable. So that's why we have a lot of reachers and teachers out here, because a lot of us have children. And, you know, we can't help it. You know, our spirit won't let us just lay down and do nothing. No, we got to keep our fortress strong, because, you know, those entities out there doing everything they can to keep confusion in the atmosphere. But I tell you, Brother EBX is not confused and set goals. You know, I know it's going to be challenges, to be things unexpected that'll happen, but we always what? Expect the unexpected. Analyze everything. You know, this is brother, sister, you know, in our families, our children, significant others. You know, keep our circle strong. Like what? Still. And never ever be confused, because when we are connected to that great divine, we will never be confused. Never be confused. I don't care how entities of the world try to twist and mangle things. You stay connected, brother, sister, children, you know, those who are listening. You stay connected to that higher force, and you will always see clear, because I don't care what entities are those that are toxic and evil, what they try to make it look like or make it seem like in this world. The great divine is never, ever the author of confusion. And how does one know this? Because take a look at those that are truly divine and within and teaching out here. Just take a look at their life. Do it look like they're confused? Do it look like they don't know what they're talking about? No. Yeah, that's why we have to be analytical. That's how we have to really pay attention to things and listen to a person that you know, that speaks. You know, even me, you know, just check me out. I've said in the past, research me, check me out. I have nothing to hide. I'll talk about my children, my life, and you know, we can't talk about everything, but I will try my best to be transparent, you know, because as we go along in our lives, our levels, brothers and sisters, as we get wiser, and as we do kind of get up in, you know, man's age, but as those that are divine, we never age. We just get better. But as we get up in our, you know, in our levels and our wisdom, we do tend to really take things to the soul, to the heart. You know, it gets real at some point, you know. So, like I say, take a look at those that are divinely connected, and you tell me, do they look confused? No, they are not. So, again, like I say, great divine is never the author of confusion. So don't get it twisted out here. Don't listen to a lot of stuff. Some stuff you got to kind of block out almost, and only connect to the righteous brothers and sisters in our families and outside our families, and focus on the things that are important and not dumb bullshit out here in this media. So that's my thought, and I'll always encourage, always will be here. And I showed this on my banner because We all have paths that we have to take, but it's all about choices. So what path are you taking? Do you visualize your future? Do you see things that's around the road? Do you pay attention to the worlds and entities that are around us that don't want righteous brothers and sisters? Because those that are lost in it, like I said a minute ago, I really feel sorry for them. You think you're not confused, but your life shows confusion, So, and if you're confused in your life, that divine is not in there, because the divine is not the author of that. The devil is. So you better stick to that higher force. I don't care what you think or know. Just keep living, and you will see. And pay attention to those that are living a demonic, evil life. They are confused. I don't care what they look like, what they doing. They are confused. If you ain't got that, if you don't have that divine spirit, you're altering thyself. You are confused. So, and I thank those that came in. Stay on that path. The divine will always show us when we're doing righteous. Sometimes we don't. It seems like we don't. It's like, am I doing the right thing? And no, you are doing the right thing. If you are true and real to the pit of your soul and you mean well, you're on the right path. When you're righteous, you're always on the right path. You ain't demonic, and you're not envious or hateful or none of that. None of that poisonous shit on the inside. You on the right path. So just stay on it and be aware of those turnoffs, those exits, those hurdles, those bumps, those speed bumps, because they will come. But when you are truly connected to that divine, you will see them, because we are not confused, those that are aware and spiritually rooted through that divine to the pit of our soul. And like I said, I got to say it one more time. Remember, great divine is never the author of confusion. I don't care what you see, hear, or what the entities try to do or make it seem like. Stick with that divine. So that's my thought. And I thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. And may your life be prosperous. My subscribers, those who view. And salute to all the reachers and teachers that's out there doing their thing. Salute. I honor your family. I honor my family. I honor my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you please have the ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. Salute.